everyone, and welcome to today's new video. So today I'm going to do a ranking video. So today we're going to be ranking my favourite story of all time, Treasure Island. I absolutely love Treasure Island, so much so that I own the book about 3 times, and I have 10 different versions of the story. So I put all 10 different versions that I own into worst to best rather, and we'll start at number 10, which is the 1971 animated cartoon. I haven't watched the DVD. As you can see, this thing is still factory sealed and it will remain sealed. I have seen it on YouTube though, and I thought it was okay. I wasn't a big fan of the animation. The audio wasn't fantastic, but the animation for me just wasn't right. I understand it's old. It was made in 1971 and the animation isn't fantastic, but other than that, I just wasn't a big fan of this version. Thankfully the pacing was pretty good, with it being only on for 45 minutes. Had a nice introduction there with John Pertwee, Doctor Who, but other than that, it was okay, nothing special. But that is my number 10. My number 9 is Disney Classics number 42, Treasure Planet from 2002. The story of Treasure Island set in the future, where Jim Hawkins is on a spaceship heading across the universe to a planet to find the treasure. It had a good idea setting it in the future, but for me, I do prefer the story to be set in its original time than the farthest future. But the picture quality on the Blu-ray was absolutely crystal clear. The sound was fantastic. Can't fault it on that. But setting it in the future for me just didn't seem right, and that's why I rank it at number 9. Number 8 is another animated cartoon. This one is the Storybook Classics version of Treasure Island from 1987. I enjoyed this one. I watched it on YouTube. I thought the pacing was pretty good. The animation was much better than the 1971 version. This has a runtime of 50 minutes, a couple minutes longer than the 71 version, but the animation looks a lot better, and that's one reason why it ranks a little bit higher. So that is the 1987 cartoon. At number 8 is the 1934 version. This one is in black and white and is the first talkie. There is a silent version of Treasure Island, but this is the first ever one with sound, starring Wallace Beery and as Long John Silver and Jackie Cooper as Jim Hawkins. This also stars Nigel Bruce from the Sherlock Holmes movies. This is a good version, although the beginning is not brilliant. After Jim moves away from the Admiral Benbow Inn, it gets better. It gets a lot better. But the beginning for me just isn't brilliant at all. But you can get past the beginning, it picks up and becomes a really good version of Treasure Island. So that is my number 8. So next up at number 6 is the 1972 Orson Welles version. Orson Welles as Long John Silver. This version, this DVD here, is probably the best version out there. This has the movie in its full original format, widescreen. There is a Blu-ray available. I think it's in somewhere in North Europe. The quality on the Blu-ray is terrible. It's like old videotape quality in 4.3. I did buy it once, but I had to send it back because it was just rubbish. But I do have this DVD here, and the picture quality on here is probably the best it's ever looked. And the version itself is pretty good and pretty close to the book. Orson Welles is fantastic as Long John Silver, although his voice, he does talk a little bit quiet, and sometimes you do have to raise the volume just ever so slightly just to hear what he's talking. But a fantastic version and highly recommended, and that is the 1972 version of Treasure Island. At number 5 is The Muppet Treasure Island. This is a whole lot of fun. This is just madness, to be honest. We have Kermit the Frog as Captain Smollett, Fozzie Bear as Squire Trelawney, and we have Billy Connolly as Billy Bones, Tim Curry as Long John Silver. Funny songs, funny moments with the puppets, just an all-round chaos with the Muppets. And Ben Gunn becomes a girl with Miss Piggy as Benjamina Gunn. Yes, fun, enjoyable, love it, absolutely do it. I do have it on Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray does have some audio issues, so I do watch it from time to time on DVD because of the audio problems with the Blu-ray. But that is the Muppets version of Treasure Island. At number 4, I have the Eddie Izzard 2012 version of Treasure Island. I believe this one was originally shown on some Sky channel, I can't remember, and it took ages for me to get hold of a copy on physical. This is the American Blu-ray. I have the American Blu-ray because I was having some issues with the UK Blu-ray. Go for the American Blu-ray. It's region free, it works over here in the UK, and it has 3 extra added minutes in it than the UK one. It does take a little bit of a twist at the end with not Captain Smollett, with Squire Trelawney, his character, but it follows the book pretty well. I enjoy watching this one, and great action and visual effects in the 2012 version. My number 3, I've gone for the 1989 version of Treasure Island. Great cast. We have Charlton Heston as Long John Silver, we have Christian Bale as Jim Hawkins, Oliver Reed as Billy Bones. We also have Christopher Lee as Blind Man Pew. This is probably the best version, movie-wise, for the book, closest to the book. Fantastic version, fantastic pacing. I believe this is the longest movie version. We need this over here in the UK. This is an American copy, but I absolutely adore this film. It's fantastic, fantastic cast, fantastic pacing. Overall, just a fantastic version of Treasure Island. So moving on now to my number 2, and my number 2 is the 1977 BBC series. This is fantastic. This is probably the closest version to the book. So if you've never read the book and you want to, and you can't be bothered, why not? Read the book, it's fantastic. But if you can't read the book and you want to watch the one that's the closest, this is the version that is the closest to the book. It's set over a number of episodes. It runs for 200 minutes and is fantastic. This version includes Jim Hawkins' father. None of the other versions that I've shown so far have included Jim Hawkins' dad. He's usually dead at the beginning of the story, but not in this one. In the first episode, he's alive in this one. Fantastic. version. This also stars Patrick Troughton, the Doctor, Doctor Who he plays a pirate in this. And at first, when I first watched it, I didn't notice he was in it, but when I watched this again, I went, wait a minute, that's Doctor Who. Yes, this one is fantastic, highly recommended. So that is the 1977 BBC series, a fantastic series, well paced. If you can get over Ben Gunn's voice, which is, I'll admit, quite annoying at times, but if you can get past that, this version is fantastic. And lastly, my number one version is the 1950s Walt Disney version of Treasure Island, starring Robert Newton, Bobby Driscoll. This version is absolutely fantastic. I love this so much. It's my favourite movie of all time. And yes, it's not the closest version to the book. There are a few things that are different in this to the book, but there is just something about this movie that I just love so much. When the movie finishes, I'm sad. I want to rewatch it again, and sometimes I do. I watch this twice. This is just a fantastic version. The actors are fantastic. I love the music and just the scenery. It's just perfect. I just love this so much. So that is my number one version of Treasure Island. So yeah, that is my ranking done. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, give the video some big thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know which version of Treasure Island is your favourite, if you like Treasure Island or not. Love to know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. And as always, until next time, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching.